All right, Shalom. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai Bahasham Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who taught me this truth. Shalom to the hopeful elect. I'm back with another quick lesson through the Holy Spirit of the Rakakwadash. And in this quick lesson here, again, make sure your spiritual antennas are up because a false is definitely on the way. All right, this article is from the New York Times. It came out 2 days ago. As the headline reads here, it says, Central Tehran billboard depicts Trump in a coffin. Okay? It says, threatening imagery in Ecolab Square is nothing new, but has rarely taken such lurid form. All right, so they have a whole pretty much banner out there in Iran of, Trump inside a coffin. Okay, so something is definitely up, man. It says a billboard in Ecolab Square in central Tehran on Wednesday with graffiti saying, "We will unalive Trump." See? Right? So something's definitely about to go down, man. Okay? I'll read a little bit of this real quick and then we'll get to the video of it. It says those who pass the gigantic corner billboard in Ecolab Square in central Tehran are used to seeing political symbols and sometimes the faces of political leaders. The figure who appeared there in images shared by international news agencies on Wednesday was President Trump, his body peeking out from an open black coffin. It says the figure's eyes and mouth are closed and his hair is disheveled. Also visible are hands resting on a red tie atop a protruding stomach at the far end of the coffin, feet point straight up. It says threatening imagery in I keep pronouncing that wrong. Ecolab Square is nothing new. In January, the billboard depicted a strike on an American warship, leaving a bloody wake resembling the stripes of the U.S. flag. Okay? Now, real quick, let me grab the scripture. Okay, 2 Corinthians 2:11. Lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. Now remember, all right, as we see this here, let me go back to it. Okay, we see this image of Trump in a coffin. And then you had the Simpsons cartoon. They're saying it was fake. All right, but they showed Trump in a coffin. All right. Now you be the judge. Okay. But anyway, let's play the video here. But like I said, something is definitely up.
A giant billboard, a U.S. president lying in a coffin. That's not a horror movie poster. That's Tehran, right now in Ecolab Square, one of the most symbolic public spaces in Iran. And it's aimed directly at Donald Trump. The mural shows Trump lying inside a coffin-like structure, hands clasped over his chest, dressed in a suit with red accents. Around him, aggressive graffiti-style messages, some in English, some in Persian, including the phrase, "Kill Trump." It's not subtle. It's not meant to be. And he's not alone. Nearby, a second poster shows Senator Lindsey Graham, drawn with horns, standing on a gravestone. The epitaph reads, "Your dream of victory will be buried with you." So why now? Why here? Ecolab Square, Revolution Square, has long been Iran's canvas for state-aligned political messaging, changing with the news cycle. This mural lands after a massive national moment, the funeral of Supreme Leader Ali Khamenei, who was killed in a U.S.-Israeli airstrike on February 28th, at the start of the war between the U.S., Israel, and Iran. His funeral was held from July 3rd to July 9th, 2026, drawing enormous crowds across Tehran, Qom, and into Iraq. And the crowds didn't just mourn. State media showed huge processions with chants of "Death to America" and large red signs saying "Kill Trump." This wasn't a one-off sign. A hardline Iranian newspaper openly called for Trump's beheading, and mourners marched carrying banners saying, "We will kill Trump. There will be blood," and burned effigies while chanting "Death to America" and "Death to Israel." Even Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu weighed in publicly, pointing out that mourners weren't just chanting "Death to America," they were chanting "Kill Trump" directly. Stones were reportedly thrown at billboards bearing Trump's face during the procession. This mural isn't really about art. It's about signaling, grief turned into public defiance.
Yeah, real quick, hey, the least of the flock should draw them out, man. And the Lord is, he's raising up those Carmenians, which is the Persians. Let me just get that real quick. In 2nd Ezra 15. All right. Hey, this is a big deal. They got a whole billboard out there showing this man in a coffin. All right. This shit is getting intense, right? But hey, nevertheless, hey, we're paying attention to everything, man. All right. This is 2nd Ezra 15 and 28. The point is in 29 and 30. Right, but it says 2nd Ezra 15, verse 28, it says, "Behold, in horrible vision, and the appearance thereof from the east," all right, the so-called Middle East, right? Verse 29, "When the nations of the dragons of Arabia shall come out with many chariots, and the multitude of them shall be carried as the wind upon the earth, that all they which hear them may fear and tremble," all right? And the Lord is stirring up the spirit of these people out there, those Ishmaelite nations, you know? It says, verse 30, it says, "Also the Carmenians." The Carmenians represent the Persians, the Iranians, right? "Also the Carmenians raging in wrath." Okay, this is what you see right now. All right, these people are raging in wrath. They want blood. "Also the Carmenians raging in wrath shall go forth as wild boars of the wood, and with great power shall they come and join battle with them, and shall waste a portion of the land of the Assyrians." All right, and this is symbolic to America. Okay, so essentially they're gonna they're gonna get their revenge as they're calling for. You know, it says, then shall the dragons have the upper hand, remembering their nature, right? And this is the Lord, rousing them up. Remembering their nature, and if they turn themselves, conspiring together in great power to persecute them. All right, so look. All right, let's go back. This is what we see here, man. You know, they're talking about unaliving, okay, this man. Right here at the bottom here. Right? Come on, man. All right, let's finish this out, because I want to play this video right here. Like I said, something is bound to go down, right?
Aimed at the two countries Iran blames for Khamenei's death. Inqilab Square has done this before. Missile-flanked statues, bloodied warships, coffin imagery of American leaders. It's psychological theater, built for cameras as much as for crowds. A billboard, a coffin, a name in graffiti. It's a message the regime wants the whole world to see, and one U.S. and Israeli security services are watching very closely.
Yeah, a lot of propaganda. All right. Now check this out. This is what caught my eye a couple of days ago, right? But the title of this clip here was "False Flag Incoming," right? Check this out.
The president told the Post today, quote, "I've left instructions, if anything happens, to just literally bomb them at levels that they've never seen before."
Let's just cut the bullshit. This was a implicit threat by the Israelis that they're going to assassinate Donald Trump if he does not go to war with Iran. I suspect that that's what this is. Now,
Put a nuke off in D.C. and kill Trump and say Iran did it. Trump's kind of teed himself up for that. No, I'm serious. I said when they tried to kill the butler, I said, I bet they blame Iran. 2 days later, they blamed Iran. Nobody bought it. Then Trump bought into it and goes, oh, if I get killed, destroy Iran. And Netanyahu was like, yes, good. So if they kill Trump, if Israel kills Trump and the deep state does it, they'll blame Iran. And then we're just, then they can do false flags all over and say the Hezbollah did it.
What role in the Middle East, again, does Israel play in this?
Israel was created as the instrument to bring about the Battle of Armageddon and the fulfillment of prophecy, a war that will be so terrible, where nuclear weapons will be used, so that the American citizens and the other people in the world will get down on their knees and beg for no more war. And what is the answer to that? They're going to be told the only way we can guarantee no more war is if we destroy the sovereignty of nations and we come together as one humanity in a one world government.
Right. Okay, and the Jewish people were then being manipulated into believing it was for some other reason.
That's correct. They've always been manipulated. And I get people who still come to me all the time and say, Bill, you're all wrong, it's the Jews. The Jews are subverting the world. Man, it's not the Jews, it's not the Catholics, it's not the blacks. It's these men who belong to the ancient mystery schools, who meet in secret and decide the fate of the world. And they belong to all different races and all different nationalities and all different religions to the public point of view. But in secret, it's a different story. At the highest level of all countries, they all belong to the same club. And we, the people, sit back and we watch this grand drama, which is being played out for our benefit. Not theirs. If it wasn't for us, we wouldn't even have to do any of this. But you see, they just can't come out and destroy all of us because they need slaves. They need people to make their shoes, and make their cars, and mine the ore. They need worker bees, and that's what we are. In the New World Order, we will be the worker bees, the slaves.
Since you have kept my command to endure patiently, I will also keep you from the hour of trial that is going to come on the whole.
Well, there you go, That's off, but hey, there you go. Everything is moving according to the plan, right? Let me see if I can pull this up too. The Albert Pike plan. Albert Pike plan. 3 wars. Let's see what we get. Because that's what this is. All right. And we're approaching that third woe. All right. It says Albert Pike allegedly wrote a letter in 1871 predicting 3 world wars, outlining how each would lead to significant global changes, including the rise of communism and the creation of Israel. The third war, according to Pike, would involve a conflict between the Islamic world and the West, resulting in global collapse. See that? So 2nd Ezra 15, all right, Carmenians, okay, these Ishmaelite nations, the dragons, all right, are being raised up. And that's exactly what's happening. The least of the flock should draw them out. Let me get that too, since I quoted it. Okay? It's all moving according to the plan of the Most High. Okay, because really it all boils down to the will of Yahweh Shem Yahushai, right? Jeremiah 49. Okay. It's Jeremiah 49 and verse 20. It says, therefore hear the counsel of the Lord Yahweh Shem Yahushai that he have taken against Edom, and his purposes that he had proposed against the inhabitants of Teman. Surely the least of the flock should draw them out. See that? So these small has to have completely drawn America right into this third woe. All right, World War III, as it's playing out. Surely he should make their habitations desolate with them, right? Because not only is Babylon gonna get smoked, but also Small Hat land gonna get smoked too. Okay, both of these land masses are going to get eliminated through war. Okay, and this is all according to the will of the Lord. It's all been set up. That's why I said check out the propaganda, right? You had the billboard and everything like that. How they were chanting for the unaliving of Trump. You see what I'm saying? That's why I say you got to keep your spiritual antenna up, man. It's definitely about to happen. Okay? Here's another article from theexpress.com. It says, sinister banner shows Trump family in coffins as Iran demands blood for blood. You see that? Banners displayed across Tehran show Donald Trump and his family in coffins as Iranians call for the U.S. president to be unalived as they demand blood for blood. There you go, man. All right, so they got banners all over the city, all right, depicting these images, right? Let me see if I can just quick summary here. You know, any day now, as we've been warning, right? You know, we know that something is being planned, all right, and when it goes down, it's gonna be epic, and it's gonna change the course of America, man. Summary: blood for blood, core meaning: a direct demand for lethal retaliation, signifying that a death must be answered with another death. Contextual significance: in relation to the page title, it represents Iran's explicit threat of violent revenge against Donald Trump and his family. Underlying motivation: the phrase reflects the Iranian government's ongoing vow to avenge the targeted killing of Iranian officials, most notably General Qasem Soleimani, carried out during the Trump administration. All right, so yeah, that's it. Right? Let's go to Ephesians. All right, it's just a quick lesson, straight to the point. Just putting this out there, man. Okay, anything can happen between now and then. All right, Ephesians 5. Okay, Ephesians 5:15, it says, "See then that you walk circumspectly, not as fools, but as wise, redeeming the time, because the days are evil." All right? Man, if something goes down to that measure, it's over. Right? But again, we're in them times. You see? So yeah, we're gonna see what's gonna happen. All right? Shalom.